Hey everyone, and welcome to Honestbee by G. I'm G. We review everything eco-friendly and cruelty-free. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you are not new here, thank you so much for joining me again. I love having you back. I have been inundated with so much love and so many DMs and text messages of you guys enjoying this channel, and that just makes me so happy. And thank you guys for all of your suggestions of what you want to see more of, just like this video today. Thank you to everyone who voted on my Instagram poll for today's video. It's because of you and your votes that I chose to do this topic today, and I really appreciate hearing your input so that I can make exactly what you want, because as a reminder, Honestbee was made with you in mind, and it's here to help you make the switch to clean, cruelty-free, and sustainable living, beauty, and skincare options with ease, and just taking all of my resources, all of my research, and just giving you my honest, unpaid for, unsponsored opinion and recommendations to help you make the switch to a cleaner, cruelty-free lifestyle really easy. So if you want to see how I created this look, what products I used, and all of my secrets, just keep watching. Alright guys, I'm going to go right in with the Lawless Set the Stage Hydrating Priming Serum. I really like this because of all of the ingredients, and it's a little bit more expensive, but that's because of all the skincare-like ingredients in it. I'm just going to pat and rub this into my face and let it dry off to make sure I'm getting all the benefits of everything that's good in this serum. Next, I'm going in with my foundation. This is the Cover FX Total Cover Cream Foundation. I just found this recently and it's basically my new holy grail. I use it all the time and I think the colors are a really great match for me. I'm going with my kabuki brush so I can stipple it into my face. It kind of looks like I'm dragging it in here, but fast motion, I'm just tapping it all into it. Gets into those pores, and I'm not getting any of those nasty streaky lines. Make sure you blend down into the neck area and just a little bit over the eyes. I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge and just buff this out and make sure that there's no harsh lines and everything is really nice and blended. Next, I'm going to go in with my Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is my all-time favorite concealer. I got it in the shade 3.5, but I definitely think it's a little bit too dark for me. And I'll show you right here after I did it on my eyes in comparison to the foundation. Just a little bit too deep for me. I would have gone for 3.0. So I'm going to try to lighten it with my Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer that's a shade too light. Ilia is a lighter coverage and Kosas is a more full coverage. I have really dark eyes, so I prefer the Kosas. I just wanted to show you two different options here and a color that just works a little bit better for me. I'm just going to stipple this in with a really fluffy eyeshadow brush. I feel like that gives me the best natural look. Now I'm going to go in with a little baby beauty blender. Much better. I'm going to go in with my Milk Makeup Mini Matte Bronzer in the color Baked. I'm going to use one of my Eco Tools brushes. It's a little bit thinner, and I think this gives me a little bit better precision, especially when I'm going in for my cheekbones. Make sure to get the top of your head and try to get into that hairline too. It looks a little crazy, but you're just going to trust me on that. Don't forget the chin area. And I'm putting a lot on here, but we'll fix it later. With a smaller brush, I'm going to go and define my nose just a little bit. You can see I'm not doing it as dark as the rest of my face because I want it to look really natural. Going back in with our kabuki brush with a little foundation on it, we're going to stipple that back in and try to blend this out a little bit. So So I think I still have a little too much product on my neck. I went a little overboard, so I'm going to go back in with a little extra foundation, which is just going to help me blend that in just a little bit easier. You know, we just want it to look like a shadow. I lost a little bit of that highlight, so I'm going to go back in with my Ilia and just brighten up a couple little spots. I don't want to go too heavy with the contour. I want it to be really natural. I'm going to go with my Josie Maran liquid highlighter. This is my all-time favorite liquid highlighter. I think it looks really natural, it goes on really beautifully, and it doesn't look sparkly. There's nothing that I hate more than a really sparkly highlight. I just want it to look a little bit dewy and to catch the light. I'm going to go back in with that same kabuki brush that's just going to help me kind of clean it up. Any of those liquid highlights can be a little bit strong and thick, and I don't want it to look streaky. I'm going to go in with my favorite Sen Organics Powder Chiffon Foundation. Now this is more of a powdered foundation than it is a setting powder, but for me and my lupus rashes and my oily T-zone, you can see that difference. I just think it blends really nicely. This also helps set my makeup pretty well, and I'll only have to use a little bit of powder. This is my favorite Talc-Free loose setting powder in a translucent color. I'm going to use a really big fluffy brush and just get a tiny little bit in there, tap off the excess, and go in the spots that I think will get most shiny. I'm going to go in with my favorite bronzer of all time, which is the Kosas Moisturizing Baked Bronzer. I think that this gives a really nice soft color for me. Because I have really pale skin, bronzers can quickly make me look like an Oompa Loompa, so they're often way too dark for my complexion. Even though I am Hispanic, I do have that Spain Spanish pale skin. I'm going in with my favorite Ofra highlighter. This is my favorite powder highlighter of all time. I like this color and I like the consistency. It's really bright without being glittery. It just has a nice subtle shimmer. Let's get a little closer in with the blush. I'm using the Sen Organics Petite Mineral Blush in Muse, which is a true pink. I'm also going to add a little bit of this Lawless Make Me Blush Velvet Blush in the color Angel Suede, which is a really nice coral and also talc-free. Again, both of these are talc-free, which I absolutely love. Let's go on eyebrows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Pen. This is brand new out and I absolutely adore it. I was actually sent this in PR and I'm really excited about it. I think the color is really perfect and I think it just glides on and is really easy. I have really bushy brows with a lot of gapping in them, and I think that these kind of pens are the best way to go. I mean, look at the difference. I'm gonna go fix that other side. This is my problem side. She never matches anything, but gotta do what you gotta do. I'm just quickly going to use my little e.l.f. spoolie to clean up these brows and prep them before I use the next product. I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel, and this is just to kind of keep it in place. I'm not looking for color or dimension or anything. I just want it to stay. And I got a little mistake right there, so guess what? We're going to go back in with a little bit of that foundation and buff it right out. No problem. I'm going to go in with one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. This is the Aether Beauty eyeshadow palette in Summer Solstice. All of these are talc-free and don't use any child milled mica. Each palette is also infused with crushed crystals, which is really cool. The packaging is completely sustainable. There's no mirrors, no plastic. It's 100% recyclable and made from recyclable materials, which I think is really important and a really big game changer. I'm going to try to intensify that color just a little bit. Even though we're going for a really natural look, I just want a little bit of a pop in my crease for definition. So I'm going to take a little more dense, smaller brush and try to make that color pop just a little bit. Now for a little highlight and sparkle, I'm going to start out with a brush and get the general shape that I want. Gonna go right under the brow bone for a little bit of highlight. Now I'm gonna go in with my fingers to try to get it to pack a punch a little bit, now that I've got my general placement, and I'm just buffing it out. I'm gonna go under my lower lash line to try to make it tie in a little bit. I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit and then go back in with that same highlighter color on this little tiny brush and try to get those inner corners a little bit more defined. I love using my highlight color and as the same color on my inner corner because I just think it keeps it really consistent. This is my favorite setting spray. This is the Cover FX mattifying spray. I like that it doesn't feel like a really thick hairspray all over my face and there's no scent to it, which is perfect for me. I'm gonna use my beauty sponge to kind of just buff it in there. For eyeliner, I'm gonna go in with my Ilia gel eyeliner in the color Dusk, which is just a nice dark brown. I just think it's a bit more natural than a harsh black, especially since we're going for a really natural look. I'm going to try and attempt my classic wing. Since I have downset eyes, I really tend to gravitate towards a wing because I think that it helps lift my really droopy eyes and people don't ask me as much if I'm tired. I like to go in with a brush afterwards and kind of smudge it in there. I think it looks a little bit more natural and that way I can fix my lines a little bit without using a ton of product. A little bit on my lower lash line helps complete the look. I'm gonna go in with my favorite mascara of all time. This is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara in After Midnight. I do like my lashes to be a nice jet black. And I love this mascara because it never runs. This is the only mascara I've ever found that doesn't completely fall off my lashes and keeps them nice and curled. Please do note that this does have beeswax in it, so it is not considered vegan. I'd love to find an alternative, but right now this is the best product for me. I'm trying, I promise. Next I want to definitely try the Kosas Big Clean. That is on my list. For my lips, I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk collection. Charlotte Tilbury herself is not a clean line at Sephora, however, I did read all the ingredients and it is clean for me, and so I'm going to keep it in this video. I think it's a really perfect neutral pink. It gives just a little bit of definition and color that goes really well with the natural pink that I kind of got rid of with my foundation. Using my finger to buff it out a little bit and keep it really natural. Gonna go with my favorite Lawless Classic Cream Lipstick in the color Fawn, which is really light and lightens the Charlotte Tilbury color just a little bit. I'm usually really allergic to lipsticks, and this is one of the only ones that I can find on the market that I do not react to, and it is just my all-time favorite color and formula. I'm going to go in with the Lawless Lip Shine Lip Gloss in Manuka. This is also my favorite lip gloss that I never once had a reaction to. It stays all day and isn't too sticky, but still lasts and has a really beautiful shine. And that's it. That's your all clean and cruelty-free look. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this and liked the way that it turned out. When you switch to clean products, yes, there is a little bit more of a luxury price to them. I like to think that you are, number one, voting with your dollar, and number two, that you are supporting brands like, say, Aether Beauty, where everything is completely sustainable packaging. Most of these are also like Lawless and Sun Organics, completely talc-free, especially right now, guys, if you're wearing a mask. I cannot push a talc-free formula even more because you really don't want to be breathing in that talc. It's kind of controversial. Some people say it's really not a big deal to have talc. My thought is, if we have other alternatives and we're still not sure about it, why not just switch to talc-free? Because there is science proving that this isn't harmful. So let's talk about the controversy of green and clean beauty. Some people think that clean and green beauty is just using greenwashing, which is true. There is greenwashing. And greenwashing is essentially a marketing ploy used by companies to say that their products are clean or green with no real government regulation as to the terms, just to try to lure in a certain market. So maybe if I advertise it and market it and using lots of browns and greens and showing how eco-friendly we are without even using eco-friendly practices, it'll get that group. This does exist. Companies do this, and that's why I put in all the research to only give you brands that I personally would trust my own money in. All of these items I bought with my own money, except for the brow pen, which was very kindly gifted me. But anyways, back to clean. Being someone that was diagnosed with systemic lupus, as well as certain conditions like contact dermatitis, as well as eczema, and having sensitive skin in general, I think for me personally, clean beauty is a really great alternative because I know that I'm not getting some of those really bad ingredients like fragrance, which I can do a whole video on another day about why I have a beef with fragrance, but we'll get to that another day because it's a long story. As well as ingredients that don't have parabens in it. Once again, there's a huge controversy around parabens and whether they're actually bad or good, if they're just for keeping your product safe. And some people say, oh, parabens just help me from not getting all of my products moldy, and if it's really low on the ingredients list, maybe there's not that much of it. However, if this has parabens, and 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 this has parabens, it's all adding up, and I don't think there's the science backing up just yet what all of those parabens or talc or fragrances or pegs or other forms of ingredients that are on my naughty list, when combined simultaneously with a bunch of other products that contain those, what are the effects? We're always looking at the ingredients on a product as an individual, saying that it's completely safe, but we are not logging, when you keep stacking them on top of each other, what that concentration is, and is it going to be maybe a known carcinogen or cause acne or sensitivity or even cause skin conditions like contact dermatitis. And if you say, well, I don't have a sensitivity, I'm fine, I also encourage you to consider that allergies and sensitivities and dermatitis can be contracted later on in life depending on what you're using in your daily routine. I recommend every single one of these beauty products, and of course if you are in a rush and you don't want to do everything like contouring and highlighting, that's perfectly fine. I wanted to give you more opportunities rather than less to see as many products as possible that I use to try to give a natural look. This is my everyday makeup, and once again was only using what I consider clean ingredients with no irritants and things that I don't have to worry are going to contribute to my medical conditions in the future. I think if we use a base model of clean makeup, and maybe you have an eyeshadow palette that isn't as clean or a brow pen that's not as clean, I don't think that that's as big of a deal. The things that I do think are really important to keep clean would be things like your makeup primer. One of the other really necessary clean ingredients I find is your foundation, just because that's really also going to be on the base of your face, really close to your pores, and I do think that you want really good healthy ingredients because sometimes these are the things that are breaking you out. You might have a perfect skincare routine and then you put on a foundation that's full of fragrance or citrus, PEG 10 in it, maybe it's loaded with lots of different kinds of dimethicones. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of bad things out there, but there's also a lot of good things. I really hope that that's the takeaway from today, is that you have lots of options. The two takeaways, I guess I should say, are that one, I really don't want you to feel limited. I want you to feel like there's lots of opportunities and lots of brands and availability for you to try and find what works best for you, whether you're strictly sustainable or strictly cruelty-free or strictly vegan, or if you're just dipping your toes in the water. And number two, that's to please use up your products that you have, no matter where they lie on the spectrum of cruelty-free. Use them and enjoy them, and then maybe consider one of the products I've shown you today and that I will continue to show you in the future to maybe swap to, and maybe you'll be surprised that you might find an all new holy grail. I know I do constantly. When I think it can't get any better, I try a new product and I love it even more. So I really hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed this. Please make sure to give it a like and a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and make sure to ring the bell so that you're always notified of when I have new content coming out. Thank you guys so much for spending the day with me. Thank you for voting on my Instagram so that I knew exactly what you wanted. I will continue to do that in the future, so please make sure to follow me on Instagram so that you can be a part of the discussion and be a part of these polls, and you can help choose exactly what you want to see. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this look, and I hope maybe you found one or two, or maybe all of them, I'm not going to disagree, products that you want to try. Make sure to let me know in the comments. which one that you like the best, which ones you're interested in, or something that you want to know more about any of these products. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Also, you can DM me or email me and visit my website for more information. Thank you guys and have a great day. Bye.